All right. Episode 105 of the Morse Code Podcast. It's Soapy Preup, Dan Morse, and we got another special guest. You can catch him on NBC Boston Friday nights, right?
Yeah, Friday
nights,
and catch his work on or catch your articles on NBCBoston.com, which I was doing earlier today. DJ Bean, what's up, man?
What's up, DJ?
Nothing. Thanks for having me, fellas.
And then you have your own podcast too, though, right?
Oh boy, do I!
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Enlighten us, please.
Yeah, you want chaos? It's called Brunch. We've been doing it forever. It's me and my friend Pete Blackburn, and we started because I was doing a radio show and we got Pete in the mix, and Pete was like, "Let's start a podcast." And I didn't want to have a sports podcast. No offense. Because I was like, I do so much sports stuff as it is, but I was like, if you would do like a pop culture podcast, I'm down. And he was like, yeah, that's better. So we've done a pop culture podcast. Both of us do sports for our day jobs, but we have a pop culture podcast called Brunch, and check it out. It's a good time. It's mostly just like depression.
Oh, awesome.
But, yeah, I actually think that's very relatable. So
oh yeah when people started listening, we moved to the Washed, which is an awesome podcast network, and so we got like some new listeners, and I was like, oh, this is gonna stink. People are gonna go through old episodes and be like, oh, you guys weren't funny, or like, you guys are lame, whatever. And the only reaction it's gotten is like, hey, listened to an episode from a few years ago and this thing was super relatable. So I was like, hell yeah, awesome.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah.
How do you guys know each other, Pete? DJ, how did you meet Pete?
He was I was covering the Bruins, and I was covering the Bruins for WEI.com, and he followed me on Twitter. Pete has if you don't know who Pete is, Pete has a very big following. He's just a legend. But this
great head of hair too.
Please relax. He's got an okay head of hair. I'm a little annoyed. We were talking about it the other day of like, is it weird that like I've always been like the guy with hair, and his girlfriend was like, is it weird that now he has hair too? And I was like, no, it's weird that every dude has hair. Where forever, every dude was doing like the same short haircut. And I was like, all right, I can probably be uglier, but differentiate myself by having a little something. And then the pandemic came. Every dude grew their hair out, and they realized like, oh, having hair is the bee's knees. No offense to anybody who might be follically hindered, challenged, whatever it may be. But
I'm glad you put out that disclaimer. Appreciate that.
Yeah. But yeah, he followed me on Twitter, and every time I would like tweet something about a play or something, he made GIFs in like a second, and he would just like turn everything into a GIF, every play into a GIF, and he was just so useful on Twitter. So I followed him back, and then I was like, he does all this hockey stuff. We should, I had a Sunday morning show on EI. So I was like, we don't really know who this guy is, but let's, he's clearly like a funny dude and seems like a cool guy. So me and Joe McDonald, who at the time was at ESPN, did this show, and we were like, let's have Pete in, and we can figure out what he does when he gets here, but like, let's just have him be a part of it. And he and I just hit it off really quickly, and we've been very, very close for a while now.
Nice. Yeah, so you've been very, very draft the best player eligible no matter what theory.
Totally.
Find a way to make them work. Very
exactly. Figure it out.
Very interesting. Ironic, because when I started this podcast like a year ago, Soapy was like the 30th choice to bring on as a co-host. So that theory for me didn't work, but nonetheless, here we are.
Hey, as long as it ends up being a scheme fit, you're all good.
Still working on that.
Still figuring that.
It's just not
coachable. Yeah, not coachable.
The thing is, I locked him into a really shitty contract. Like, you hear about like bad contracts in sports. For me, as the business owner, Soapy's contract is deplorable, but Just is what it is. Hopefully he's not
a first round pick to him, and someone will take him.
Yeah, I'm working on it. But anyway, but yeah, Soapy, go ahead. I knew you wanted to jump in with something.
Well, before I get to my actual first real question, I was going to
here's what I mean, but go ahead.
No, this is what I do.
God, this guy stinks.
Soapy. And I was a value pick. So, before the audio listeners, DJ's wearing a hat, and if you weren't being bashful, I would have brought up your hair first. So maybe don't wear the hat.
I mean, it probably looks like shit now. But please, it's. I don't know. Now I'm in a weird thing where I'm talking about how good my hair is, but I've got solid hair. Let it be known. Yeah. It was before the pandemic.
Yeah, true.
So yeah, my first question is branching off of when Tom Giles came on with us a few episodes back. Two things. He said one of his funniest memories at NBC Boston was covering the Super Bowl, and it was you and Felger singing. And I meant to go look back at the song, so I couldn't find that. So number one, I want your memories of that, or your version of that memory. And two, if Felger was your biological father, as you have joked on Twitter, how would you feel about that?
Well, Felger and I definitely have I don't see him anymore because we just don't cross paths. We used to see each other all the time because he and I worked at NBC Sports Boston doing at the same time for a long time. Like, he would have the Sunday show. I actually did production on his show when I was in college. And so I saw him all the time. And then I started covering the Bruins, and he was a big reason why they started putting me on over there to talk about the Bruins. And he and I would just yell at each other about Tuukka Rask or Peter Chiarelli or whatever it may be. So he and I, but I've always absolutely adored him. So we definitely had a father wanting son wanting the approval of his father type relationship. But Felger is, and he'll probably happily admit this, Felger, I don't think Felger gets too close to anything outside of the task at hand, So if he wasn't on the air and we're all sitting in the newsroom, I'll be talking with somebody and talking about nonsense. Giles and I will bullshit for eternity. Mm-hmm. He's more likely to just be watching a game. And if you go over and bug him with something, he's happy to talk to you, but it's all right, would you, this game's on. Would you get out of here? So there is a legit,
hey, wait until intermission, DJ.
Yeah. There is a legitimate son wanting the approval of his father there. But yeah, Felger's the best, and he's done an absolute ton for me over the years. But the song was Dreams by Fleetwood Mac. This was pre Ocean Spray. Yeah. And it was the Super Bowl in Atlanta, and Giles and I were out and texted Jim Murray hey, what are you up to? And he was oh, tonight's the night that once a year at the Super Bowl, he takes Maz and Felger out and tries to legitimately ruin their lives. He tries to get them as destroyed as possible. And it's the one night a year, going back to what I was just talking about with Felger and being hey, I'm doing the job. You're all very nice people, but I'm here to kill it. Mm-hmm. That's, I think, the one night that Felger is yes, I'll go out with everybody, and yes, I'll play along with all your shenanigans. So once a year, Murray tries to just get him destroyed. And they were at the Claremont Lounge, which, if you've ever been to Atlanta, is technically classified as a strip club, but it's not a traditional strip club. It's just a dive bar where the servers are
people just get naked,
middle-aged, topless people. It's just
I'm listening.
It's very much going for as weird a vibe as possible.
Well, I remember it's funny because everyone in that little circle that we've had on, we've asked them about this night, and Felger started it, and then we had Maz on like a few weeks later.
So did he I hope that I didn't just like tell any tales out of school with like the Claremont Lounge.
No.
Cool.
It gets like the plot thickens like every time we have someone on.
Hell yeah.
But I'd like to get your opinion on this. Maz described the place similar to the bar in Star Wars, like the bar in like Tatooine, I think it was, with like
I've seen one Star Wars in my life. I'm a big pop culture guy, and I just can't get myself to care about Star Wars. I've seen episode 1 like 4 times, and that's the only Star Wars I've done. Well, so hope that helps.
We'll DM it to you or something. But I think based on the way you were describing it, I think you would agree when you see it. But anyway, go ahead.
But yeah, it's just a scene in there. Like it is that place is the definition of a scene, and. We got there. Maz wasn't there because famously they opened the door to the place. They walked in and Maz said, "Gentlemen," and went home. Like he was like, absolutely not doing this. I don't know what this is, but I'm not doing it. Yeah. So we texted Murray like, "Hey, what are you up to?" And he was like, "Oh, tonight's the Felger night." And if you know Claremont Lounge, which I'd never been there, but I'd heard of it from going to Atlanta before. It is an institution. It's a very, very famous place. And I remember the last time I was in Atlanta maybe like a year earlier for a Taylor Swift concert, and my friend tried to get us to go there, and he described it to us, and we were like, "Oh, that sounds like a lot. Don't think we're going to do that." But this evening, Murray was there and Felger was there, and it just sounded like a crazy thing. So I was like, yeah, let's go. So we went, and we weren't in the best shape. Obviously, Felger was not in the best shape because Murray was well on his way to succeeding with his plan of just making Felger toast. So we got there, and they were playing music. There's karaoke going on there too, and Dreams was playing. And apparently, like, I remember doing it. I just didn't know that Felger was doing it. But independently, Felger and I were both kind of doing like the same dance moves and sing along. If I'm at a bar, if I'm not speaking and music's on, I'm probably singing along to it. I'm extremely annoying that way. But like, I don't know if it's like a nervous energy thing. If like music's going on, I'm doing something to it. So I don't know if Felger is usually like that, but however Jim had gotten him, he was. So at the same time, I think we both did like thunder only happens when it's raining type of thing. Sure. And like we both did this, and Giles was so happy. I'm surprised that was his favorite moment of that of that week. Also, I'll say after we left, and even like when they were trying to leave, like Murray couldn't find Felger. Like Felger kept like walking out and like walking in, and like he was just trying to like get everybody to walk to the Uber at the same time. So it was like one of the like Murray had really done a number on poor dad, and he texts me like 20 minutes later, or probably like 5 minutes later, and he was like, he threw up with like a bunch of exclamation points. And we got back to the hotel maybe like an hour or two later. Giles and I went and did something else, and we were walking back. We were like, is that what I think it is? And in front of the hotel, Murray was by himself smoking a cigar.
Of course he was.
He was celebrating that he had just succeeded in making Felger legitimately sick, the poor guy.
Just treated him like a lab experiment.
Yeah, right. Yeah, totally.
And Murray, so those are like the best. Monday or Tuesday nights. And then I think it's back Tuesday, at it in like 4 hours.
I think it's Tuesday of Super Bowl week, and then yeah.
Good for them.
Yeah. So, but I mean, honestly, depending on how you want to play it, that's how a lot of people are in those things. Like, I don't know, like the NFL Combine has a reputation for like all the executives and everybody just go, they just go there and get destroyed. Where I mean, I'm not that old, but even when we'd go to the Super Bowl the last few years, or back when the Patriots still went to the Super Bowl, I was very like, hey, I have to pick my spots. Like there has to be like one night we kind of go out, another night we kind of go out, one night like we really go out, and like it all depends on what you have the next day. The first night that we got there, or maybe the second night, Giles and I were in a bar and we came up with our best idea. I don't know if he told this story, but we came up with our best idea that was immediately shut down by our boss, because our boss is smart. In Atlanta, every bar, everybody's smoking. If you go to a bar, you're signing up for being around a bunch of smoke. So a lot of times, like, I just don't feel like going to a bar because it can be a little overwhelming. And Giles and I were there for a little bit, and we were like, just couldn't help but notice, like, everybody had cigarettes and neither of us smoke, but we were like, let's ask the waitress if like they sell cigarettes here. Like we could like do a cigarette and blend in. And so Giles asked the waitress. She said, like, very like, oh, these people are so stupid. She was like, oh, like, no, sweetie, bars don't sell cigarettes.
This is a bar.
Yeah. And
this is a bring your own situation.
Right. Yeah. And then she came back a couple minutes later and she brought us 2 shots and 2 cigarettes.
Nice.
And they were like her own. So like we were like, oh, well, that's so nice. So like, we're gonna leave her a big tip. This is great. And we were like, we weren't planning on doing shots, but okay, here we go. Like, all right, to Atlanta. So like we're smoking cigarettes and we're like, this is awesome. And like she just keeps bringing us cigarettes. Every time she sees us running low, she brings us more cigarettes. So eventually we're like, this is what these shows should be. It should be like a couple people sitting around talking about sports with a cigarette going. And jokingly the next day we were like, all right, we came up with an idea. It's sports talk with cigarettes. And our boss was like, ooh, how have I not already fired you guys so many times?
Man, I was gonna say, I'd be like, say less. Like, where do I sign?
That
sounds like ratings cool. Like written all over.
Yeah, this was like 2017. Nobody was saying say less yet, but my boss was like, oh, say less. Right? Yes, we're in.
That would look pretty funny. Cool. I think that's a strong image.
I feel like that's what it was like though back in like the 50s.
Oh, totally.
Like everyone would just get ripped. Like talk shows.
They didn't do stats or anything. They were like, all right, the quarterback. Sports, what do you think? Does he have what it takes? No. And like that was it.
Well, some of my favorite like old school sports photos are like, oh, it's that guy in the Tigers, Jim Leland, just like ripping a carton of cigarettes.
Probably,
like, dude. I mean, like football coaches, like elite level athletes, just getting ripped. Like,
are you guys hockey guys?
Not as much out of the sports.
Well, do you know what morning skate is? It's something that they'll have if the game's at 7 p.m. say they'll have a morning skate. It'll be roughly 10:30, and it's like a short little non-contact practice that you have the morning of a game. And they've been doing away with them over the years, but it was a thing they had in hockey forever, and it kind of seemed pointless. Like, these guys are athletes. They're probably like they don't need to practice the morning of a game. Why are they doing it? And the reason it existed was, I think in the 70s they had to start doing them because players would be hungover or whatever, and they just needed to sweat out the toxins early in the morning. So like they would have them, all right, if you're playing at 7, like you got to get on the ice, got to sweat, got to like feel as terrible as you're going to feel. So and sober up. And then just now, even though I'm sure like a lot of players are like party animals and cool guys and all that, they take their conditioning so seriously that they're like, oh, if I'm like, they wouldn't dream, most guys, of drinking the night before a game. It's just like out of the question.
Nah, better days.
Well, it used to be cooler. Everyone sucked, but it was cooler.
Yeah.
Speaking of cigarettes, do you guys remember, this is completely off track, but
dude, this is a I should not give advice to anybody, but oh boy. It's a podcast. You don't have breaks to hit. You don't have things you have to get to. If the conversation goes to a place that's cooler and like more authentic, I say like always go there. Anyway.
Yeah.
No, that's true. And
that being said,
this are definitely cooler and more authentic.
This is our Camel Light. This segment's brought to you by.
You're like, no, we just say we have an ad read. Yeah.
No, go ahead. So,
no, you guys remember that? I didn't know this until kind of recently that cigarettes used to be allowed on planes, which is hilarious to
restaurants,
me.
doctors' offices,
crazy.
Planes,
yeah, everywhere.
Wherever you want.
I can understand I don't understand it, but buildings is one thing, but on a plane when you're just completely stuck there, that is hilarious. And I don't know, do you guys have any memories of being in restaurants when they were, for some reason, I thought that was only changed about 5 or 10 years ago. And I know that's not the case now, but I still have like pretty vivid memories of, like going
to smoking or not smoking.
When did it change? Like 15 years ago, maybe?
Yeah, I'd say 15 to 20. Like it's been a while.
Yeah, definitely in my life. I remember that.
Oh, same.
Yeah.
I think I was in at least maybe even as late as like high school. So like that was like mid to late 2000s, like going to a restaurant with my parents saying like smoking or non-smoking.
Right.
And then you get in the dilemma of like non-smoking is a 2-hour wait, but we could sit in smoking now. It's like, right. Fuck, I am hungry. I guess I could light one up.
But you go to
enjoy a nice steak dinner.
You go to Atlanta and there ain't smoking and non-smoking. There is just
smoke.
Are you
smoking.
in the bar or are you not in the bar?
Yeah. It's like they have like that cliche, like no smoking sign, but they just like etched out the middle part.
Yeah.
It's like the cross through it.
They use another cigarette. They replace that thing with another
actual cigarette.
So it just looks like it's like a skull and crossbones of cigarettes.
Yeah.
Well, dude, I think Jim Leland smoked enough that eventually he started to look like a cigarette.
Yeah.
He does resemble a cigarette.
Actually, I think he may still be alive, but like present day Jim Leland,
physically,
his corpse is still around.
I looked up the other day if Jack McKeon was still going. He is. Good for him.
Okay, cool.
Wow.
I'm like most of the time when I'm debating if someone's dead or alive and look it up, they're usually dead.
Yeah.
So I usually get it the wrong way out of the two. But I'll bring this up real quick before we transition. I did bring up the Claremont Lounge website. We typically don't do free ads in the show, but ClaremontLounge.net. Check them out. Like, subscribe, comment. Their website isn't great, but the homepage is just a bunch of random pictures of celebrities here. I don't know if you know this or not, DJ. I don't think you are pictured here yet, unfortunately.
Oh, no, I'll take that.
Picture of, it's probably a good thing. It's a picture of Slash from, the hell band does he play for? Not AC.
Guns N' Roses. Also Slash's Snake Pit in the 90s. Okay. Am I seeing
Anthony Bourdain? I see Jack
pretty cool.
Black. I see Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, I was like, is that Morgan Freeman?
I think I see. Okay, if you're on the site too, the one right below Morgan Freeman, I think that's Anthony Bourdain again.
No, wait.
Double hitter.
Maybe it's like a random. Wait, the guy that's licking the iced coffee?
No, I see. You're on ClaremontLounge.net, right?
Yeah.
Okay, the top two are Slash and Anthony Bourdain, right?
Let's see.
I'm on my phone.
Slash, Anthony Bourdain, Jack Black,
Morgan Freeman.
To the right, I'm not sure who that is, but underneath the person on the right is Flea.
Yep, I see that one.
Then I don't know who that
guy is to the left of him.
Yeah, I don't know who that is to the left.
Coffee. I see what you mean now.
I think I'm seeing next to that guy, I'm seeing actor Jason Mitchell. You seeing him?
I see Aquaman.
Oh, that's right. Aquaman's in the mix.
Out of the
Anthony
water.
Bourdain again. Yep, there's Anthony Bourdain.
Key and Peele.
Is that Method Man? That is Key and Peele. The same picture with Key and Peele. Is that Method Man to the right of them?
I think it is.
I don't know, but that's Jason Mitchell on the left. It plays Eazy-E in Straight Outta Compton.
Okay. So this place is legit. No bullshit.
Oh yeah. Oh, we got De Niro in the mix. Bottom right.
See that.
Bottom right.
Let me see.
Bottom right next to.
Oh no,
it's not
picture
bottom
I
right.
see is Flea.
So 2 under Flea is Robert De Niro.
Yeah, mine stops after Flea on my cell phone at least.
Damn. Yeah, there's another Jack Black. There's another Jack Black in a tie-dye shirt.
Oh boy.
Man.
I'm gonna have to check this place out.
Who doesn't this place have? I'm seeing who's the guy that like only roasts people? Like he's just like
Jeff Ross.
Jeff Ross. Like his job is like roasts.
This looks like a Jeff Ross type of joint.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Jeff
totally.
Ross production.
Yeah.
But okay, so that's good intel on the old Claremont. Let's switch gears a little bit. Where do I want to go with this? Let's stay on the track we're on. Let's talk a little UNH. So you're a fellow Wildcat alumni.
Yes, sir.
As are the two of us, as of a lot of our listeners.
Very cool.
What was your go-to dining hall at UNH? Or maybe a better question is, if you go back today, sober, not sober, however you want to take this question, which dining hall would you dive towards?
I think I would do. Stillings, is that one? I haven't.
Stillings was underrated. Stillings. I think Hoko was probably the most famous.
Right.
Like,
so Hoko is like the obvious one, but there's a chance that if I hit Stillings at the right time, there's only like 3 people in there, and nobody will be like, why is there a 32-year-old man sitting in the dining hall? And I could just kind of do my thing.
Yes.
So I think Stillings might be the answer.
Stillings was low key a good one, a sleeper dining hall.
Yeah.
They had a killer ice cream bar or Sunday bar once a week too. And ironically, it wasn't on Sundays. Big missed marketing opportunity there.
Yeah.
But I think it was like Monday or Tuesday. And then Sophie and I freshman year lived at Christensen. So that was right by Philbrook, which was fine. But location wise, you kind of had to default to go there. So there was a time when Stillings was a hike. Like if I went to Stillings, I was like, I need to plan my day around. I need to plan my day and my route around this.
Yeah. If I was at Philbrook, it was like something was going on. Like I was with different people or some weird circumstances brought me to Philbrook. Only every now and then. I was pretty much Stillings or Hoko all the time.
I feel like I saw more than the other ones, like just families. Like I'd probably say once a month I saw like a family of 6 just like eating at Hoko, because I know you could buy non-student.
Oh yeah,
you could buy a meal a la carte for like $10 or something, which is a great deal. But yeah, that was always weird. Like just seeing like a family of, speaking of restaurants, like a family of 6 just going to Hoko for dinner. But I guess if you live in Durham, like going to a Grand Golden Corral or something.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Do professors eat at the dining hall? Like, do you see professors there?
A lot of professors at Hoko again. Like I said,
all right, I could go there. All right, so I could.
That was like the gold standard.
So I'll say I could just toss on a blazer and go to Hoko, no questions asked. I could, maybe Hoko, because I don't know if they still have the. When I was there, they started doing the cheesesteak bar there, and that was a massive game changer.
It sure was. And I'll say this. I hope you take this as a compliment, because this is what it's intended for. I could see you with a blazer, nice pair of jeans, lose the hat, show the hair. I think you could pass for like a professor, like a psychology professor, like one of those young, cool, like hip professors teaching a really cool, like miscellaneous class. Like,
oh hell yeah, I got
psychology of like, I don't know, like a John Lennon, like psychology class or something.
The psychology of John Lennon.
Yeah, 101.
I could teach that class right now. People are complicated. All the guy wanted was peace, and he was obsessed with it, and he was a horrible abuser of women. Like,
so that's the class.
How does that guy's brain work? I've been there a couple of times, not in a million years, but I've been there to speak to classes a couple of times.
Oh, nice.
And like the first time I went, I was like, ooh, I need something with elbow patches here. I need to really look the part. Move. And then I was like, no one cares. No one knows who I am. It doesn't matter. Just wear whatever.
Elbow patches are a big upgrade.
That's very professorial.
The more like, I don't know what material, like tweed? Wool or plaid. Yes, that's probably it.
Tweed.
With like a nice brown elbow patch. What was your
couch
major?
Material almost?
Yeah.
Is that what tweed is?
Yeah.
Yeah, it can be. Yeah. Sort of.
You just got 2 very different questions fired at you simultaneously.
What was my major? My major was journalism.
Okay, cool. Nice. And then question, because we were actually talking about this with some friends recently. Last year was kind of a wash, for pandemic reasons. Are you a homecoming guy? Do you go back to UNH homecoming?
I went like twice.
Yeah,
I think maybe.
I've only went once.
My
it's weird.
I never went back for a lot of cool things because my job was too weird. I always had,
that's true.
I was always covering hockey. So it was always, if something was happening Saturday morning, I was probably covering a morning skate or a practice. And if something was happening Saturday evening, I was covering a game. So my hours were not conducive to a lot of those fun things.
The homecoming is so strange. Because I remember as a student, well, did you go as a student? Were you able to go?
Yeah.
The homecoming stuff? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I didn't care a ton about it. I don't know why.
It's a little overhyped. There's just something odd to like getting up at 5:30 in the morning and starting to drink out in public at like 6:30 to wait for a football game that nobody goes to. But yeah, homecoming is weird because I remember vividly multiple times seeing like people just passed out, like literally dragged by police officers like into their car at like 11:30 in the morning. And it's like, this is no way to live. Like, what are we doing? Like, I can't. And then like you'd see a group of people like that. And then to the left, a group of like 40 or 50-year-olds in like UNH crew neck sweatshirts having like one or two Bud Lights, just like talking about the old days. And then the next truck over is again, like Bill's Mafia type people, like on tables. And it's like, I am having fun, but this is not a long-term thing, I don't think.
Yeah. I have a weird relationship with nostalgia. It's like the Andy Bernard thing of like, you wish you knew they were the good old days when you were in them. Like, for whatever reason, and I don't want to harsh anyone's mellow, but for whatever reason, just like sitting around and being like, remember when we did this? Remember when we did this? Remember we did this? Like, it just kind of bums me out, you know, because I'm like, we're all still alive. Like, we can still go do something cool. It's not going to be like, oh no, we were a bunch of children who were like almost killing ourselves with alcohol. But there's like, that was your version as a child of having fun. Now, like have whatever your adult version of having fun is. It's all good.
Yeah. For Soapy, it's the exact same. He still does that pretty regularly, Monday through Friday. But yeah, to your point, to each his own. Go ahead, Soap.
I would have to say too that I kind of agree that homecoming wasn't. If we went to a big football school, it would have been different. I think
totally,
obviously.
Oh, good point. Yeah.
So yeah, plus like I don't know if you guys went to that homecoming. So we graduated in 2011. DJ, you were 2010, right?
Yeah.
Did you go to the homecoming, the 2000? Well, this was 2 years later, so 2012. Did you go to that by chance?
Possibly. I think I went back for one or two of them. So maybe.
Well, there was the 1 year where they kind of did it around the same time as Halloween, so it was Hallowcoming, and it was a fucking ice storm the same weekend. So it was brutal. Like it wasn't.
That sounds
fun.
like hell.
And people were stuck at UNH, I think. I remember I came back to Nashua and I didn't have power for like 5 days. Like most of the state wasn't ready for a snowstorm in October.
My God.
Yeah, not the best. But switching to what you actually do.
Let's start the show. 50 minutes.
Yeah.
That was just one short segment. What of the local teams, like I know that you got to cover them, so working them is one thing, but which one are you looking forward to attending the most?
I went to a Revs game on Saturday, and that was awesome. The Revs have really grown on me these last couple of years. So I love going to Revs games. I love going to, I mean, I don't physically cover sports and go to games and hold the recorder and ask, like I used to do that. And when I did that, it was pretty much exclusively the Bruins, but I also covered the Patriots for a while when I was in college and out of college. I started at EEI like my senior year, so I would like drive to Pat's stuff during the day, and I don't know, like probably like skip classes and whatever, and I would like cover Patriots things here and there. So but I don't like physically cover anything. And I like that because it means that I view everything now more as like a fan. I have more of the frustrations that fans have. I feel like when you're really, really close to the team, it's you have information, and information's super important, and people need people like that, but probably not as well served to give that, like, have that emotional view, or like, hey, like, what's the team's problem right now? I think if you're really close to it, you could be like, well, this guy's hurt, and if they were counting on this guy to do this, blah, blah. Whereas if you're just watching and wearing your heart on your sleeve, you're like, they fucked up last year's draft or whatever.
Yeah.
You know,
Grant Williams sucks.
Right. Like, you're not as zoomed in. So your information isn't going to be as good, but you'll also have like a pretty good read at like black and white, what's right, what's wrong with this team.
Gotcha. I think that like pretty clearly comes through too in the way that you cover it too, on whether it's TV or when I read your stuff.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, I can't.
Which I think is good. It's good to have that balance. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can't. I don't know if people like it or don't like it, but I just can't do. I can't do the really polished, like broadcastery, presentery type of thing. Mm-hmm. I'm more where, like, I feel passionately about this. This is like I talking the way that we're talking right now.
Yeah.
I feel like if I did like the, hey, everybody, people be like, oh my God, yeah. People with hair can't do that.
Blows.
Get out of here.
Hey, easy, Giardi.
Yeah. Giardi's my guy. Have you guys had him on?
We've had him on a few times, and he's the
friend of the program. Very good guy. Giardi. Very similar to like this, like very down to earth guy. It's totally weird too, because like the first time we had him on, it was like, you know, we try to keep it pretty professional. Like, hey, like this is a pretty big get. Yeah. And then the second time it was a little less. And then the last time we were literally just bullshitting about, I don't remember what. Like,
we were talking about,
we probably talked like 10% football. Yeah.
He's the best.
Just, like stupid stuff. He's a good dude.
He has an incredibly embarrassing picture of me.
Nice.
We were going from, it was 2011 Bruins Cup final. And we would fly to Washington and drive up to Vancouver. And we had to make that trip 3 times in like a week and a half. And the third time, that was my first year out of college, first year covering the Bruins. And I was so exhausted after that playoff run. And he took a picture of me in the back seat of the car during the drive from Washington to Vancouver. And I'm wearing like a green, like some green hoodie. And I'm just, I just look like a college boy who's been dropped into the real world and can't take it. And I'm just like curled up, sleeping, but like you can just see the pain from looking at my body that like this kid is just in over his head.
Nice.
Well, that's kind of like the Felger napkin picture on Nantucket.
Yeah.
So you guys really are kindred spirits.
That's right.
Yes,
that's right.
Very good. Let me ask you this. I know you did some Oscars coverage yesterday or Sunday. Are you a big movie guy traditionally?
Yes, I hadn't seen
buff. Except Star Wars, obviously.
Yeah, I pick my spots.
That little indie flick,
Yeah. Well, the joke we always make is whenever someone brings up Star Wars or Harry Potter or Avengers, any Marvel thing, I'll respond to it with, I'm not a, and then just name another one of them guy. So if you like, when you brought up Star Wars, if this were on my podcast, if you're like, hey, it's like the Star Wars bar, I'd be like, I don't watch Harry Potter. I have no idea what you're talking about, you know?
Nice.
But yeah, I kind of pick my spots until maybe I don't know what year did Whiplash come out? 2014.
5 or 6 years ago?
2014, yeah. So a while ago. Yeah. So until that year, legitimately, like the only movie I had seen was That Thing You Do and Star Wars Episode 1 4 times for some reason. But then that year,
hold on, the Tom Hanks movie?
Yes.
Sure is.
About the make-believe band from the 50s?
Yes, 60s.
Spoiler alert.
Very close. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Spoiler alert, at the end they're make-believe. It's
actually the prequel to Castaway, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's my that's my favorite movie. It's so great. We had Tom Everett Scott, the drummer,
Oh, nice.
From
that is.
From the Wonders on the podcast. And we were talking about I told him that I tried to start a Wonders cover band. And he was like, do you know, like, so can you play our songs? And I was like, oh, please. Yeah, that's all I do. And he was like, start playing one. Sleep. So on Zoom, it was like the quality was so bad. I had this omnidirectional dynamic microphone. So it's really just getting my mouth. And if I go over here, you can't hear it as well. Whereas like with a condenser microphone, it would pick up everything. Sure. But I just had this microphone because we're doing a podcast. So I just like took a guitar and started playing one of their songs. And he went over to his drum set and on Zoom it was like playing along. So the delay on Zoom is like a second and a half or something. So it's
That's
like
hilarious.
the three of us are like or the two of us are jamming.
Well, jam
Pete is hearing God knows what in his thing because it's just coming in at different times and it's had to sound like absolute shit. But jammed with him. That was really cool. But prior to forever, I just didn't see movies. I'm a huge music guy, but I didn't watch a lot of movies. But I realized I've been covering the Bruins for a few years, and I never really knew what to do in between morning skate and the game. So like Bruins would have their morning skate at 10:30. That would wrap up at like 11. Then they'd have an availability that would wrap up at like noon. So then you'd write up all the stories you're going to write or whatever. And you're free at like 2. And like we would get lunch and stuff and hang out, but the game doesn't start till 7. Warm-ups don't start till say 6. So they're really just like a lot of downtime. And I started going to the movies in why can't I think of I'm so dumb. The Boston Common. I just started going to the movies in between the morning skate and the game. So I would knock out all these movies. And for the first time, I saw all of the Oscar nominees. And I was like, holy shit, I'm a movie guy now. Sure. And I've been doing that every year since. I see all the best picture noms, all the best actor, actress, supporting actor, actress, and director. This year, I didn't get to see that many. I just saw all the best pictures, and that was it. Yeah, this past year was super weird.
Well, that's kind of the reason I ask. I mean, I usually consider myself like a pretty big movie fan. So I usually do watch the Oscars, but I think since they've kind of, I don't know how long it's been, probably like a few years at this point, they've certainly expanded, like the nominees. I think before it was like 3 or 4, right? Now it's like 10 or 15. Right. So kind of, I guess, like give us like your 2021 Oscars for dummies. So like in a nutshell, like what are like a handful of what you consider like the movies worth going back and seeing if no one saw them last year?
Ooh, all right. So
or even performances, since you mentioned like the best actor and actresses too.
Yeah, I'm a big tears guy. Speaking of depression, I'm just kidding.
Sure,
I didn't mean tears. I mean like putting things in tears.
I went into tears as well. So
I'm a big Tears for Fears guy. I don't know if you know this song, Everybody Wants to Rule the World. It's kind of a smash.
That's on our Patreon page, our Tears for Fears podcast.
That is actually, I would say that Everybody Wants to Rule the World is second to September as like on the list of songs every human being in the world fucking loves. I think if anyone's listening and disagrees, I think that like there isn't a person in the world who doesn't like September. There isn't a person in the world who doesn't like Everybody Wants to Rule the World.
I think I only like it at weddings though. Is that the song you mean?
Like Earth, Wind & Fire in
September. Yeah.
I
don't think I've ever heard it outside of a wedding.
I mean, it's the song to play at any big gathering.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. But there's a lot of songs like that, like Don't Stop Believing or like You Make My Dreams Come True that feel corny when they're played like that. And Pete and I actually have a running argument. He plays You Make My Dreams Come True on the jukebox. And I think that is the biggest waste of jukebox money in the world. Because I'm like, you can just wait 5 minutes. That song's going to come on.
Oh, yeah. Good point.
Anyway, so if you want a glimpse into what our podcast is about, it's enlightening conversations like that. But I didn't think there was one like great holy shit like Whiplash level movie or Once Upon a Time in Hollywood Parasite level movie this year. But I thought the three best were Judas and the Black Messiah, Judas and the Black Messiah, Promising Young Woman, and Sound of Metal. If I would highly recommend. That's probably
the one I'm most excited to see. That's
Sound
the
of
one,
Metal.
The kid who loses his hearing, right?
It's incredible.
I love that kid.
What Riz Ahmed?
Yeah, he's the guy from Night Of.
Yeah.
And he's a Nightcrawler too.
I never saw that. I never saw that.
Very good movie.
Yeah, he was.
I like him a lot.
I oddly used to be into UK battle rap, and he was a battle rapper back in the day, and then he was in Night Of, and
yeah.
But he's great in Sound of Metal. But you said performances that I want to shout out. Definitely Paul Raci in Sound of Metal. The gist of Sound of Metal is a drummer starts to lose his hearing, and he goes to like a deaf community, and the actor's name is Paul Raci, who grew up in a deaf household. He can hear, but in real life he grew up in a deaf household. So he plays like this like community leader guy, and he's incredible. He gives such a good performance, and there's a scene between the two of them that I thought was the best scene of the year of the movies I saw. Again, I only saw the best picture noms. I didn't see all of the ones that were nominated for other things, but I would definitely say those movies. Minari was really, really good. Trial of Chicago 7 was really good. And then everything after that, I think, was just okay. The Father, Anthony Hopkins, won for Best Actor, and a lot of people were mad, but I'm cool with that. I think he's great, but he's always great. He's Anthony Hopkins.
That's the one when he's a cannibal, right?
What's that?
That's the one when he's like a cannibal.
Yes.
And then Jodie Foster, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Those look pretty good.
Yeah.
But okay. Yeah, like I said, I'm usually into it, but I think this year was kind of like an asterisk year for a lot of people. Just because, honestly, I didn't even know like how many movies came out. I obviously didn't go to the theater last year.
Yeah. Oh God, I didn't go to the theater once. No.
Yeah. But okay. Soapy, you had something real quick?
Yeah, DJ. Do I have this right, or am I completely thinking of someone else? But are you a fan of My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, music wise?
Yeah,
I mean the album, not Soapy's own.
Yeah,
the Kanye West album. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Are you familiar with Soapy's Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy?
I'm a big fan of Jeff Bhasker, and that was, I think, probably his crowning achievement.
Favorite songs off that album?
I think that this is going to sound so lame, but I don't know. I was going to say Power, but then I was like, ooh, maybe Runaway. But I think that sample on Power, I think that Power is like, if you were to do a presentation on Jeff Bhasker and Kanye West and the awesome music they're capable of making, I would present Power. Right, like I think I think those samples are so sick. Obviously the vocal sample is awesome, but the King Crimson, the 21st century skits, like it just all falls together so well. So yeah, big Power guy.
I have a challenge for you.
So
with you being, what instruments do you play? Just guitar,
piano poorly, and like if you play guitar, then you're allowed to own a bass, which I do, and say that like you play bass, but
of course.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So challenge to you is like every so often I go back to that album and I'm just like, all right, I'm going to play this song, and I'll play like one song for months on end and then just kind of rotate. I think you should make a video of yourself playing the
I know what you're going to say.
Solo in
Devil in a New Dress.
Yeah.
Oh, so my buddy Mike has said that too.
Oh, your buddy Mike Dean?
No. No. My buddy. So my buddy. I post videos on Instagram myself playing guitar because I've reached that sad point in. I don't know if I would qualify as middle-aged yet or whatever, but like I'm like the out of shape middle-aged guy who's like, yeah, I'm gonna start playing a lot more guitar. That seems like a good use of my time.
Good idea. Yes.
Yeah. Right. So that's kind of where I am in life. And so I'll post videos of myself playing, like I did one a couple weeks ago. I was playing a Natalie Merchant song. That shit just absolutely bangs.
Sure.
But yeah, my buddy Mike is like, you should post more songs that like people our age like. And he brought up Devil in a New Dress. And I was like, yeah, but what if I just like did like Billy Joel songs instead?
But what if we do more Natalie Merchant?
Yeah. Oh my God, dude. I mean, you guys probably know the song Wonder by Natalie Merchant, but I went back and listened to that in that album, Tiger Lily. And I forgot that the guitar playing on that, which is done by someone named Jen Turner, is so good. It's like a better version of a Santana song where like Santana doesn't shut the fuck up. He just fucking plays through the whole song. And you're just like, yo, I know the song's like by you, but let Rob Thomas do his thing.
Hey, can I sing over this or what?
Right.
Yeah,
right.
Jesus,
Yeah. Excuse me. Is this featuring me or no?
Right.
I can leave, Carlos.
Can you turn up my fucking mic?
Yeah. Memento, Carlos. Jesus.
Yeah. Do you guys know the song? Do you guys know the band Ween?
I do not.
I don't believe so.
So they're a 90s band. They're one of my favorite bands. And they found they were tracking a song and they found out from like one of their roadies that Santana was in town doing some show or whatever. And all of
Santana
his stuff
things.
So all of his stuff was in storage. And
nice.
they broke into Santana's like storage area, plugged in his amp, plugged in like his guitar and everything. And they tracked the solo for one of their songs using all of Carlos Santana's stuff.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Rock and roll.
Yeah. I think going back to my beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy real quick, you brought up Power. One of my favorite scenes. Have you seen, I don't even know where it was released. Like it was just YouTube, but like they made like that short film, like the Runaway, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, basically like 30-minute like short film. Have you seen that, DJ?
No.
It's sick. You'd enjoy it because
it covers like the whole album.
It's really great. It's like basically like a music video for like the entire album, but there's a lot of like not off script, but like, for example, like a really great scene is when he plays Power. He's basically just like, it's a longer extended version of like him making the beat on his synthesizer or sampler, whatever that
MPC
is called. Yeah. And it's phenomenal, but yeah, check that out. I think it's on YouTube. It's like 30 minutes. That's the best. Like I like that album more because you'll go back. It's almost like when you listen to like a movie soundtrack, when you hear the songs, you'll picture like the scenes from the movie.
Oh, I love that.
It's really cool. Yeah, you'll enjoy it. And I don't know if Devil in a New Dress is in it or if because I never heard that guitar solo till the album.
Unfortunate, because I think that could be like musically, it could be the best song on the album. As much as I love Runaway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and no one knows Rick Ross. Rick Ross played that guitar solo.
Did he?
Many people don't know.
Did you had me. I didn't know who played that.
No, I don't either, but I don't think it was Rick Ross. If I had a gun to my head, like I could eliminate someone from contention.
Okay.
I think Rick Ross would be one of my first choices, if not myself, because I know I didn't play it.
I don't know, man. I never doubt. A dumb dated thing is to doubt to really underestimate the musicality of
I'm with
very
you.
talented musicians. Like like when people, the one that drives me crazy, people are like, did you know T-Pain could sing? I'm like, did you think that T-Pain would be able to do T-Pain shit if he couldn't sing? You fucking idiot. Yeah. We're talking about T-Pain, like one of the great musicians of the last 20 years. Yes, I knew he could sing, you idiot.
Yeah. Let's do this. We're coming right up on time. Before we let you go, DJ, real quick, and like, I guess like a couple minutes or less, what are your thoughts on the draft coming up, Patriots specifically? What do you think they are going to do, and what would you like them to do? From like,
they're gonna do something annoying, like take Kwity Paye, and I'm gonna throw up. I would like them to. I mean, if they like a quarterback, go get him. If someone that they like falls to 7 or 8, go ahead and do that. Otherwise, I'd love for them to get Jalen Waddle. If they have to move up a few picks to do it, do that. Hopefully he falls to you. That would be great. If he doesn't fall to you, I don't hate Rashad Bateman at 15. I don't hate moving down. People lose their mind at that. I don't hate moving down and getting like Zaven Collins be a great successor at linebacker. So I would say there's a lot of things I want them to do. I actually ran a column this morning saying 5 things I don't want them to do. Yep. And they were take Kwity Paye, Take Devontae Smith. Sorry, 166
Devontae Smith
pounds.
would drive me nuts.
Can't do it.
That's suicide.
Way too big a risk. I don't want them to do the Panthers taking Jimmy Clausen or the Browns taking Deshaun Kaiser move of like, oh, this guy's here and we clearly don't believe in him because if we did, we would have taken him earlier. But well, we might as well just take him, and then you have a quarterback you hate, right? Yeah. Like we've seen that never works. So I don't want them to do that. Yeah. But I'd like them to get a receiver. Ideally, you get a receiver and a quarterback. But I mean, also, they still have a lot of needs. Like I sure would love for them to get a cornerback. It would help if they didn't get caught cheating again and had their 3rd round pick taken away. They would be able to make more picks or maneuver around the board more easily.
Dan, can you censor that part out? Because I have no idea what he's talking about when he said the C word.
It's funny because like when those actual stories break, they're fun to like joke about because like, we got busted cheating, we still won the Super Bowl. But then they really hit home when it's like, fuck, we just lost a draft pick.
Right. It's like, oh, you're not good at drafting and now you don't have as many draft picks. That's not ideal. Is that not good?
And you really want Jamar Chase, right?
That'd be sick.
I like the idea of trading up for a non-quarterback. Ideally, you're trading up, you're getting a quarterback, but this is very plausible, right? Quarterbacks go with the first 3 picks. Yeah. 4th pick, Falcons either take a quarterback or they trade down for a team that wants a quarterback. 5, Bengals take Penei Sewell. 6, Dolphins take Kyle Pitts, who's the best pass catcher in this draft. It's 7, if Jamar Chase is there, why not trade up? Like
who picks at 7?
The Lions.
Oh God.
So they would have incentive obviously to take Chase themselves, but especially after losing Galladay. But if you can make it worth their while, I mean, especially you're so bad at drafting receivers. So get the sure thing. I would love if they got Jamar Chase.
Oh, me too. I didn't even think that was in the realm.
Yeah, but then he's going to take catches away from N'Keal Harry.
That's true.
I didn't think about. There's only one ball.
That's very.
Cam's the one who has to get it. So that's not great either.
Maz had a great line today. They were talking about the receivers in the draft, and they were saying that Rondell Moore is so short. He's 5'9", and they're like, he's like so low to the ground. And Maz said, "Perfect. Well, if Cam's throwing the ball, you have to be low to the ground."
Perfect. Yeah, I was gonna say he's gonna get 100 targets a quarter.
If you could put hands on your feet, then you could rip it up. I feel so bad for Cam Newton.
Cam would have 100% completion percentage if he was allowed to draft players with hands for feet, but not in the cards. One more time before we let you go, man, where's the best place for people to find you online, to follow your show and everything else you got going on?
Twitter is DJ_Bean. Instagram is D with so many E's. I don't know how many, but it's D with a lot of E's. I think it's like 14 or something like that.
14 E's. Okay.
Yeah.
Got you.
Because all the other ones were taken, and
13 other guys with the same name.
I know. Unbelievable. And then Brunch is the podcast. NBC Sports Boston is the place.
Awesome, man. Appreciate that, man. Yeah. Thanks again for hopping on, and hopefully we talk to you again soon. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Appreciate you guys. This is a lot of fun.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, anytime.